So, the natural path to non-duality. Why must the path to non-duality be natural, organic? When we talk about non-duality here, we're not talking about a glimpse of non-duality or temporary awakening to non-duality. We're talking about full, permanent, irrevocable establishment in the natural non-dual state of being. The path to this state of being necessarily must be natural. Why? Because non-duality itself is natural. That is the natural, innate state of existence. The foundation of whatever experience is happening, even whatever experience we're having now in an apparent world of duality, the foundation for that is always non-dual, right? So that's why it has to be natural. And what is this path? What would be different about this path than any other supposed path to non-duality? Some of these paths talk about instant awakening, instant enlightenment, and all these types of things. For me, I don't think anything can be instant on this path, first of all. So if you're after instant things, if you're after fast food spiritualities, then probably this isn't the message for you. For me, what is built in time, what comes together in time, must come apart in time, must be destroyed, dismantled, dissolved in time. That's just the way it has to be. All right, so on the natural path to non-duality, we're not looking for instant results, instant enlightenments. Rather, what we're trying to do is see what modes of being, what modes of expression, what ways of living, communicating, interacting, flowing in the world, which ways of being that we already have contact with in our lives, which are not abstract, concepts to us, that are not mystical concepts to us. Which modes of being and living actually already have a resonance with the non-dual state of being. Because non-duality is not something that we've just got to realize and then that's it, it's done. Then we're living as a non-dual being in every moment after that. This is something that we have to learn how to live as that. We have to learn how to express ourselves as that, how to walk in the world as that, how to work as that. And we don't know how that's going to look. And in fact, nobody knows how that's going to look. That will be completely different for each and every person, just how each and every master, each and every sage is completely different in the way they operate in the world. So the only way for us to discover this is to experiment and see for ourselves. We have to see which ways of being, which behaviors naturally make us feel more at ease, naturally put us in a position where we don't have to think about what we're going to do, think about what we're going to say, think about how we're going to control our action, control our speech, and these type of things. This effortless flow of being, which is natural to us, that's spontaneous to us, which is organic. This is the way of being which resonates with that non-dual state. And whether you're practicing anything like meditation, self-inquiry, or you're receiving transmission or whatever, it doesn't really matter as long as you're through life, through everything that you're doing, you're putting yourself in a position where you resonate more and more and more with a state of peace, which is the state of non-duality. A state of peace, a state of ease, a state of effortlessness, a state of fearlessness. If you're doing this, you're walking the path to establishing yourself in non-duality, right? You know, this path, it's not just like, you know, in a 24-hour period, we're living like a absolutely ordinary being, but 1 hour in the day we're doing our little meditation, or we're thinking about non-duality, or we're doing self-inquiry. And one day, after all these little single-hour periods add up, we're suddenly going to be enlightened 24/7. And everything's going to be instantly transformed. The way we talk, the way we move, the way we work, the way we relate. It's not like this. To transform on this path, you have to, from the beginning, start transforming everything. Start looking at everything. Start feeling into everything. Start looking for the distortions in the way that you do different things in life. Feeling the areas, feeling the knots where you get tangled up. And then gradually trying to loosen out of them knots, right? This has to be a 24/7 process that's going on. And living like this is the natural path to non-duality. Non-duality is not an abstract thing that we get a glimpse of it and then we hear about it, and then we have to be thinking about that all day. We're cooking or we're talking to somebody, but we're also having to be thinking about our non-duality. We're also having to think or try to get ourselves into that state while we're doing these things. No, it doesn't work like that. Non-duality is there all the time. It's not an abstract state. It's not a state that requires effort to be in. It's a state of complete and utter effortlessness. So that's how we get into that state, through effortlessness. But how can we come into that state? We simply have to feel what is naturally effortless for us. What is natural for us? What's our natural way of being? How do we want to be in this world? What feels right for us? If we live totally like that and we're totally authentic and totally honest to ourselves, there's not much to think about. And when there's not much to think about, we're quite still and we're quite silent inside. And when we're like that inside, the non-dual nature of existence becomes completely conspicuous, completely obvious. So this path that I'm talking about, natural path, avadhuta path, it's a totally holistic path. It doesn't treat non-duality as a thing, something to be aimed at, something even to be cultivated as something which is not already there, right? We treat it as the forever present nature, essence of existence. And this path is about learning how to harmonize ourselves with that. And we have all the keys for that process of harmonization within us. But we have to learn to listen to ourselves. We have to learn to feel. We have to learn to let go of this feeling that we have to do, we have to strive, we have to seek. There's a great easiness within us. There's a great naturalness within us. And the more we lean into that, the more we begin to feel, sense our non-dual essence. Non-duality is not abstract, not in the slightest. We will not reach permanent establishment in a non-dual state by treating it as abstract, treating it as special, obsessing over it as another concept. To get there requires a completely different kind of path, and that path is the natural path, which is within all of us all of the time and will look completely differently for each and every one of us. Our job is to tune to that and start walking. That's the natural path.